Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe Podcast. This is Tim, and my dog is currently jumping on me right now, but let's get through this podcast. How you doing, Gugabe? It's kind of a crazy times.
Australia's fine. Can't think of much. Yeah.
How's it like there? Is there anything like going on there, like with all this shit?
We opened restaurants, sit-down restaurants. Jiu-jitsu's coming back in like 3 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Business as usual. I'm pretty quiet. How about Chicago?
Dude, it's fucking nuts here, man. Like I'm like not super political. Like I don't really give a fuck. I just don't want like fucking bricks coming through my apartment complex, you know? And I'm in Wicker Park, and it got kind of a popular area in Chicago, and it got absolutely fucked up 2 nights ago. I was just standing outside my deck, just watching like every single store on my street get broken into, like just casually watching it. But yeah, it was fucking insane. But it was a little more calmed down last night. Like there was still shit going on, you know, but not like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, like when I was there a few months ago, I think it was like 1 or 2 robberies while I was there. So, all of them's a bit normal, a bit more than normal. But who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, I was just like, holy shit, man. Like I thought about getting out of here, and then I kind of just was like, I'll just write it out. But whatever. I'm still taping fights and everything, just hoping all this shit goes away. You know, I'm sure the riots will kind of die down over the next couple weeks.
Shout out to Bilal Muhammad. Hopefully his dad's place is okay.
Yeah, I saw that too. He's a Chicago guy, yeah.
Ah, well. Yeah, so recapping last card, I guess.
Sure.
Gutierrez, Morales.
Yeah, beat the fuck out of Morales' legs.
Yeah, like my sort of rating dynamic here was that like it was just like kicky man versus not like kicky checky man, but like I wasn't expecting that kind of destruction. Like I played a little bit of Gutierrez' decision at the last moment because I thought the leg kicks be a bit more consistent and kind of like edge him. Yeah, I think I didn't see that sort of destruction coming.
I thought it was it's kind of one of those things where like you knew the leg kick threat was there, and it was like, is Morales going to do anything about it? And you would think like maybe he would have some type of game plan for it, but he had none, you know. But like, yeah, I didn't have any action on this fight or anything, but I kind of just like I had no strong opinions going in, and then pretty much like a minute in, you knew Morales was fucked.
Yeah, like he had no answers. Like, yeah, my kind of lane pre-fight was 55-45 Gutierrez decision kind of a deal, but yeah, Gutierrez looked like a minus 500 at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that was annihilation.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, if you don't check leg kicks, and then it's like if you don't check them, fine, but then at least move forward and kind of throw your hands and crowd. Yeah, okay, remember De Freitas? Like he wasn't really checking leg kicks, but he was at least pressuring and like landing good shots, you know. So yeah,
but yeah, especially like a minute in, you have to kind of like roll. You have to get to a point where you just roll the dice. Like it's not necessarily the best idea, but it's better than just losing a range.
Oh yeah, and just getting your ass beat. But yeah, Casey Kenny and Smolka. I thought this was going to be a pretty close scrap going in, where I kind of leaned Kenny a bit. I capped him more minus 150 range, and I thought this was kind of turning into one of those like scrappy messes type of thing. And Kenny, credit to him, I was cheering for Kenny just because I like Kenny, but I did think if that KO didn't happen, or the club and sub, sorry, that club and sub didn't happen, I felt like this is probably going to be pretty close, you know?
Yeah, like I played Smolka light. I played Smolka for like a unit and a half. Yeah, I felt like Smolka's body work combined with Kenny's sort of historical guessing was probably going to make an interesting fight. Like my core pre-fight was kind of split decision kind of a thing, because I felt Kenny's got like 7 minutes of gas at UFC level. Smolka's historically ultra sort of tough and outputty. And yeah, pretty much.
Like I thought Kenny was winning to that point, even to the club and sub, but you could tell it was just probably going to turn into a mess, like a real close, scrappy fight. But I was happy that Kenny won just as a fan because I like him. But
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to see that fight just from an entertainment standpoint. I think it could have been really fun. Like both guys are tough, um, and they both can scramble on the mat and they can kind of just they're come forward. I feel, but Royval and Elliott, I'm glad I stayed away here. I think Royval's scrambling like improved a little bit, and Elliott kind of Elliott kind of get tired? I don't even know. It was kind of messy.
Yeah, like even after like 3 minutes, Elliot had like notably slowed down. Like that was my main shock out of it. Was just like Elliot barely had half a round of gas. Like Elliot's always been very high pace. He
Yeah.
can slow down a bit, but like he was notably dragging after like 3 minutes, and it wasn't like Royval was giving him that much to deal with. Like, that was my sort of main shock of the fight. Like Elliot put up 37 points in DraftKings in 7 minutes. So
Yeah.
like he was getting the takedowns and all that. He just really slowed down, which I felt was quite unusual. Just like Elliot's traditionally been just a very high octane.
It was weird because to that point, I thought Elliott was winning. Like I had no action here. I thought Elliott was winning, and it was weird because I just felt like he kind of just randomly like got caught in that arm triangle and kind of gave up. I felt like. I think it was based on him kind of slowing down, but it was weird because I feel like if he randomly just got another back take, he could have probably rode out the fight or something, But I don't know. It was still pretty scrambly and chaotic.
Yeah, they'll probably just keep exchanging weird shit for a bit. Like Elliot had won the first round, so he had that banked. He almost got the Von Fleur just before for sub, but just Royval probably over. Royval was a bit more coordinated than I expect. But really, I just felt Elliot's cardio was the main thing that surprised me. Like I lost a little bit because I had the money line in Elliot and a bunch of under, so my under kind of bailed me out of most of it.
Yeah.
But like, actually, I was quite happy Royval subbed them because I was like, oh fuck, if Elliot's this gassed, I might have to sweat a split decision here where I can get completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Like the way I had the edge was like I had like I think 3 units of Elliot, 2 units of under, so like Elliot losing under gave me like I lost like 0.6 units. But for a second there, I was like, holy shit, Elliot's gassed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to have that situation happen.
Yeah. I was see the thing is like on this fight, we talked about it and I thought Elliott was gonna win, even pre and post tape. But once I taped, I felt the Kenny fight. Royval was showing decent scrambling in the first couple rounds, and then he really gassed. So I was just worried that that fight was a while ago, so maybe his scrambling improved a little bit or his cardio did to where he can do it for 3 rounds to just kind of make this interesting. And I feel like that's a little bit of what happened, but at the same time, it's really hard to predict improvement, But I just felt like it was at the point where it wouldn't have surprised me if he made like a Kyler Phillips type of leap type of thing, But it's really hard to predict those things, and that's why I just wasn't confident because I didn't feel like I could predict it, so I just stayed away.
I don't necessarily think he improved. I think he's improved by like 10% kind of a deal. But I just think Elliot's gas tank was the main thing for me. Like I'm just rereading my sort of comments as we were sort of we've got a live chat.
Yeah,
and like 3 minutes in, I was saying, oh shit, Elliot. I was like, I'm worried about Elliot's gas tank because he just did not look good when he came up.
yeah,
Like just see how he's moving. Like Elliot's classically been the energizer body. It's like a Merab was just gassed after 3 minutes. It's like, well, a guy's gone from being sort of A cardio to just suddenly gassing in 3 minutes. Quite unusual. Like Royval was scrambling, but he wasn't getting that much.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, honestly, if Casey Kenny would have fought this kid, he probably wouldn't have sacrificed position so much and probably would have just won, just like he did a couple years back. So you might be right. Maybe Elliott just gassing and kind of going for subs created more abilities for Royval to scramble out, and just because Elliott was tired too. So it could have honestly just been that. I'd have to rewatch it to really kind of have more of an opinion on it. But Royval's at least fun. He's very offensive.
Yeah, Shenning is kind of messy. Like round 1 was a pretty clear Elliott round, just based on just general sort. He sort of outlanded them 3 times, ground and pound, 3 takedowns. Yeah, just outpaced. But then just if Elliott's pace suddenly goes away, it's like if Merab guessed against Kenny or something like that. There's not much you can do about that.
Yeah. I would like a guy who would beat up on Royval, like perfect matchup for him. I mean, he's not really flyweight anymore, but Ray Borg. Ray Borg would be the perfect. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't sacrifice position. He would always just turn in anytime Royval stands up when he gets a back take back into another double leg and just take him down, and he would just gas him out. I feel. That's just like a classic Ray Borg fight. I feel it's like a tailor-made fight for him.
I still think there's a bunch of flyweights who should be able to run through Royval. I just don't see much process there from him, even now.
Yeah, he's fun, but I do agree his process probably isn't there.
It's flyweight.
Yeah.
Flyweight, there are enough great grapplers. Like, Royval's a good grappler, but he's not, like a world-class jiu-jitsu guy or anything like that, as far as I can see.
He's a good grappler simply because he's a flyweight, so he's going to have good skills, because honestly, like Royval's skill set in the heavyweight is probably a champion.
I think his striking defense kills him at heavyweight.
Well, yeah, maybe, but you know what I mean. Just kind of overall as a well-rounded fighter. I mean, he's much more well-rounded than you would usually get at heavyweight. But,
yeah, true. I'm just like a flyweight, trying to be a grappling specialist at flyweight. You just need to either have very, very good wrestling or be something like really world-class and like submission grappling.
Yeah. Hill and Abreu. I mean, quick knockout, but I like Hill just because you never have to worry about him just being passive, and I don't know, he's got good offensive striking. I feel throws good straight shots and everything, but and honestly, at light heavyweight, that will probably allow him to go decently far, but I think you got to see more of him on the mat and stuff. Like I actually liked Hill's Contender Series fight because I almost played him versus Stosic, and I almost played him here. I was just worried about the grappling threat in both situations, and even Stosic had a lot of success late with grappling. So I feel like Hill's holes later could fuck him, but I mean, what he does is good. The way he wins fights, it's a process, right?
Yeah, he puts up solid volume. Light heavyweight, that's quite unusual. But he's another one. I kind of felt like Morales in the first fight was just like he was clearly losing the outside game. You might as well try and change it up somehow.
Yeah.
He just kind of hung out the outside. I understand it's difficult way of being hurt, way of being bounced on, but on the other hand, it's like you might as well just roll the dice. I had a little bit of a Abreu money line earlier. I sort of flipped that off and I played some Abreu sub. But yeah, honestly, I think I had some RTD at the end too because I was just like, I started playing ICDs in this card because there's a lot of finishes and just small cage and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hill looks interesting. Striking defense still a question. Offers back still a question. But yeah, he looks solid. And I take him over a guy like Span.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. For sure. Over Span. Rodriguez and Green. This was a fun fight. Green honestly didn't look bad either. I kind of like Rodriguez's game just because it's almost like Jamal Hill on the feet. He just, he's tough and busy, and yeah, I don't know. Do you have much to say about this?
Yeah, Rodriguez landed 175 strikes. Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like it was that much.
He landed a lot in his last 2 fights too, like even versus Means and in the Contender Series, he landed like 150. So he's just kind of a high octane, like high busy striker, I feel.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He took a lot of shots here though, but I felt like he was always like a little bit of a step ahead. But Green, honestly, for not fighting for 2 years and taking this on a couple days' notice, put up a pretty good performance. But yeah.
Yeah, great. Green looks solid. Rodriguez is he's just another one of those guys at like mid-tier welterweight, in my opinion. Like he's probably in like some Mike Perry tier, maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher.
Right there. Yeah.
Like Yeah, I don't. Nothing in this game really makes me go, "Oh fuck, this guy's a future champion." Yeah, the busyness is good, but apart from that, it's just like he's fairly hittable. He's got reasonable power, but nothing like mind shattering. His grappling doesn't seem that big a deal. Which he just looks like mid-tier welterweight.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I think he's mid-tier and can probably compete with any of those guys in the mid-tier, and I think he could maybe beat some of the better guys if he just happened to land some hard shots or something type of thing, but that's kind of any mid-tier welterweight, I feel. But yeah, pretty much agreed. He'll probably hover in that top 15 space, like right around, that middle class of welterweight, like Danny Roberts and all those guys.
In top, I think there's like multiple tier. Like I don't say top 15, but like probably the tier under that. Like I'd say this is kind
Yeah,
of
that's
like
what I'm saying. Yeah, like hover below that. That's what I'm saying.
oh yeah, of course. Like yeah, there's plenty of them. Like Lee, Roberts, whatever. Every time one wins 3 in a row, they randomly become like minus 800 against the other ones, and it's like what the fuck.
Yeah. I'm saying he could maybe like crack the top 15, just depending on matchups and things like that. That can happen to anyone uh, if they just get the right matchups and go on a little bit of a streak. But Shevchenko and Chokagian, I was on Shevchenko here and got completely fucked. But I mean, good game plan by Chokagian. I just didn't expect it because she never does that type of thing. That's really kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much. Like she hasn't really had a takedown in the UFC before. Also, like every single takedown went straight into sort of dominant position. Like
Yeah.
two of them were straight into mount, and like I'd be kind of curious to see how it would have gone if she ended up in Shevchenko's guard, and like if Shevchenko would be able to get up. But like
Yeah.
when you start at mount, it's easy to look at more dominant than you might be otherwise, kind of.
Yeah, I do think that even if she ended up in guard, she probably would have been okay. Because you could kind of see that there was a pretty decent advantage on the mat, I feel. But I mean, speculation. I could be wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah,
I just expected to get a striking fight, and it was like we didn't really get that type of thing. And yeah, like good on Chokagian for switching it up.
yeah, and like Chokagian's grappling was enough of a question mark. Like it wasn't anything on tape to suggest that like Chokagian A could flip the switch like that, and B if she did flip the switch, it would be such a domination.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it too. It's like if I had another fight where I thought I had a big striking advantage and someone had 10 UFC fights and had never landed a takedown, I would, you know, logically assume that it's going to stay on the feet, type of thing. Like I would use that same reasoning, um, but like sometimes that their historical performances, like sometimes they will flip a switch. That's just going to happen, right? So it's not. I mean, it's just like frustrating when it happens, but there's nothing you can really do about it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
What it is.
It's like next week or this week, Mally just randomly wrestled Wineland or something.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like if he just like out grappled them completely out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, there was no reason why predicting that.
Has he? Speaking of Sean O'Malley, has he like even landed a he's actually landed he landed. Yeah, I remember that against Terry on Wire. He's landed like a few, so it'd actually be more likely for O'Malley to do it. But like it would still be low percentage. I'm saying, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, good on Chokagian. She took advantage and dominated. So honestly, she should. If she got better takedowns, I feel like she would have a lot more win conditions because she doesn't look bad on the mat at all in top position. So, like, she has good hips and she can maintain mount and things like that, which is more than most at flyweight. So I feel like if she added takedowns to her game, it could really complement just her game in general. But yeah, we'll see how that goes going forward. But Darren and Cypher's pretty much what I expected. If it hit the mat, it was over.
Yeah, Darren was looking kind of shit for a minute there because she couldn't get a normal takedown, but then random leg lock, so that was good.
Yeah, I kind of expected that, honestly. I expected some weird dumb takedown. Yeah.
Pulling the old Thiago Moises. Just like wasn't a great performance, but I guess that was probably going to happen at a decent clip. I don't
It's just
necessarily
when
think.
they're fighting for 15 minutes, it's probably gonna hit the mat. I mean, there's gonna be some times where it doesn't hit the mat, but there's going to be a decent amount where it does. And I mean, there's a huge grappling advantage once it's there.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Dern's like truly world class, and yeah, Sifers has got destroyed by Angelo Hill.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they just need a 30 seconds down there, and it's probably going to be over most of the time, or at least a threat of being finished. But Roberts Weaver, it's hard for me to like know what to take from this, but because Weaver's not very good, and he should not have been minus 250 in his debut. But Roberts looked good for what he did, but it was still a pretty low level opponent, so it's hard to know.
Yeah, I had some under on this. Weaver was doing his best to wall install as much as possible.
Yeah,
But like, Roberts he's impressed me more than they originally did. Like that
yeah,
Michelle fight's probably the best I've seen from him, but I don't like his tempo, I don't like his cardio. Like he's
yeah,
got some nice hands, but I just got this feeling that particularly lightweight, he'll just like have one or two good fights. He'll probably one or two good wins against people who give him his pace. And he'll
yeah.
just randomly get like Michelle or Hernandez or like just grinders. I think will give him trouble.
A Drew Dober or something would give him trouble.
Not even like Drew Dober level, even a Holtzman, just somebody who is willing to put a pace on him.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's got some nice hands, but I don't think he's powerful enough to really stop somebody just going at him.
Yeah,
I think honestly welterweight could probably be a better idea for him, just because I feel like his speed, like he's a quick lightweight already, and like his tempo, probably like you can get away with being slightly lower tempo at welterweight.
yeah.
But also, I suppose it's probably more like wrestle box at welterweight, so yeah, it's difficult either way.
He is impressing me a little more than he was kind of earlier in his earlier fights. Like honestly, I thought the Pitolo fight was one of his most impressive fights, and that was one he lost. Um, and I thought he looked decent in this fight too, but still, Brock Weaver's not very good. But uh, um, still, I think he'll kind of just be in that kind of fun fight type of journeyman lightweight, if that makes sense. Um, but I don't know. I do think he might be improving a little bit, but that's really the way I see it.
Yeah, like I don't think he's bad. He probably has like a 5-6 year tenure of the company. Might make like bottom of the rankings at some point if he gets like unfortunate matchups.
Yeah,
I just the tempo issue I think is going to kill him more than anything else.
yeah. And whenever the takedowns aren't there, because I mean his takedowns aren't that good, and so when those are, I feel like he likes having those there when he's in trouble. Even the Gifford fight, remember? I mean, he was winning the striking, but when he would get pressured, you could tell he was uncomfortable, and he would have to land like an easy double leg. But eventually, even like a Holtzman, you're not going to take down and hold down type of thing. Like you could take him down, but you're not holding him down, so it would just give him issues. I feel so, um, but I still do think he is a decent fighter, and I think there's room for improvement. So we'll see. But Quarantillo Carlisle, honestly, this is kind of like the prototype of the fight that I expected Carlisle to eventually slow down. I will, and Quarantillo kind of take over. But I will say Carlisle was a little better than I thought.
Yeah, he's probably the goat. I thought he had the 3-second knockout personally. Like live, it looked like a 3-second knockout.
Yeah.
I
I
had a
just thought
bunch of
his
under.
grappling, especially just powering out of positions and kind of getting top position occasionally. I just thought it wasn't bad. I thought it was a lot better than maybe I imagined going in. But still, like, yeah, I guess that's what. Other than that, I don't really care.
I think he kind of high rolled a few of those sort of volatile explosions though.
Yeah,
Where it's like if he just like been slightly off, I'm like, if you get exploded like that, sometimes like you say you're rolling a dice in all those positions. Like I feel like he had a lot more sixes than he necessarily might deserve technically.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's just him having good feel for it, but also I just felt like there's a few ones where he probably just came out a bit further ahead than he probably should have, or just like if he just fucked up one of those bursts, he probably gets finished or like clearly loses a round.
Yeah.
Like it's always the issue of grappling. It's like, you know, we would never have heard of Rosenstrike if it wasn't for him shoving up Mount at one time.
Yeah.
You know, it just, you know, sometimes with grappling, it's just a burst or two in the right place can just work. And it doesn't necessarily make it a good technique or good ability. Just sometimes, you know, you high roll a few in a row.
Yeah.
I had the under. I played some Quintero at the last minute. I felt he'd just have more process, which he seemed to do. Carlisle's, you know, his athleticism, like I think I underrated his athleticism a bit, but yeah, he seems fun. I want them to bring back Jason Knight so he can fight Spike Carlisle. That's my sort of dream matchup here.
I just think Carlisle is a little better than I thought going in. That is tape suggested. I still don't think he's a great fighter or anything, and but I guess I just think he's a little better than I originally thought.
Yeah, and like featherweight, there's enough fighters like who could have exciting dumpster fires with Spike Carlisle.
Yeah,
like, I think of like 10 guys I'd be happy to watch him fight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Meerschaert even would probably be pretty fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Meerschaert, Knight, Lambert, like he just, you know, I don't think he's ever going to put much together, but like, yeah, he seems fun.
You know the best fight, and I'm gonna take credit for this matchup when it gets made. Carlisle and Fishgold would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be good.
There'd just be two meatheads going at it, I feel. Then Sakai and Ivanov, close fight. I had a small play on Sakai. After watching it, I felt like Sakai was a little better on the feet, and I would favor him there maybe like 60-40, but the grappling threat of Ivanov kind of levels the playing field a little more to where, I don't know, I think it's just kind of a closely aligned fight type of thing. What do you think?
Another effortless domination by Sakai and his climb to the top.
I did think he won the fight, though. Like, I mean, obviously, we could talk about. I mean, the cage grab. You can have opinions on that, but because there was no point taken away, and just how the fight has to be scored because of the way the point grab was, or the cage grab was handled, just because it wasn't penalized. I feel like he won 2-1, but I don't know.
I kind of disagree with the scorecards. It was bloody close anyway. Like, yeah, he won the fight.
No,
It was still like a
close.
5-strike margin.
Yeah. No, I agree it was close, for sure. I just thought Sakai edged the last 2 rounds, but it was still competitive.
Yeah, like obviously the takedown's probably the fight. Like, yeah, he looked better if he did against Arlovsky. Again, Sakai's okay, I guess. It's heavyweight, like it's a new phase, it's nice, but like he's, you know, this is kind of the second 50-50 decision. Or the Arlovsky one was 100-0, but whatever. This is like the second close decision he's won now. I know some people really buy him, but like he seems functional. I feel like he's going to struggle at the next level because he's not really athletic enough to deal with like the massive like hyper athletes. I don't think he's like processed enough to be like over him or something. He seems okay. Like it's nice to see new blood in the heavyweight.
I think he's like that 10 to 15 heavyweight type of guy, and because it's heavyweight and high variance, maybe he could beat some guys in the top 10, but that's kind of it type of thing.
Yeah, like he could beat like Derek Lewis or some shit.
Yeah, he could probably beat Derek Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, like he could beat Derek Lewis. Could probably beat Rosenstock because I feel like, you know, he seems smart enough to go for a takedown. Yeah, like it's heavyweight, so it's a dumpster fire anyway.
Yeah. It seemed like a pretty close fight. I probably should have just stayed away, but it is what it is. Burns and Woodley, I'm really mad that I didn't play Burns, but it's still hindsight. But I don't know. I'm hard on. I've been hard on Woodley for a long time, and there are even people in the comments yelling at me for like being too hard on Woodley on the last podcast. But I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just he's too KO reliant, and I mean, there's a reason he lost his last 10 rounds. I mean, obviously Usman and Burns are both very good, but he still lost 10 straight rounds, you know, as a favorite in both of the fights. So, yeah, but like I like Woodley as a dude more than most people. and he's a St. Louis guy, so I like him personally. But I don't know, it's just there's not much process to his game.
Yeah, like he's gotten a bit older. He's lost like 10% of his burst, which
Yeah.
means that like the sort of knockdowns and all that he gets like kind of slowly drag him back. Just he can't just get them anymore. Burns looked okay. Yeah, I don't think Burns. I think Burns probably. I feel like next time Burns fights, we'll probably get bet against him. It's actually funny because I was looking at my betting history, and I've actually bet on Burns like every fight apart from Kunchenko for his like last 5.
Yeah.
Like he's a solid fighter. I like Burns, but I feel like the Meyer and the Woodley just means he's now got 2 names. Even Nelson, like he's now got 3 names that I don't think mean as much as the market thinks they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, good performance.
Yeah, for sure. It goes to show how good Kunchenko is when he actually is kind of gets his his range down and actually starts doing shit. Because remember how much he was fucking Burns up towards the end of that fight?
Yeah, but Kunchenko is still probably his best win. Honestly, like I care more about the Kunchenko win than I do about the Meyer win or Nelson win or even this Woodley win.
Kunchenko is like one of those typical guys who has like I feel like he could lose a split decision to anyone in the division, but I feel like he could also beat almost anyone or beat most of the people in the division type of thing.
Yeah, like Kunchenko in 5 rounders, like there's like only 3 or 4 welterweights to take over him. Like if it was a 5 rounder and I was like, and Kunchenko promised me in writing he start fighting it in 5 minutes.
Kunchenko, what's going to happen is he'll lose the first 2 rounds marginally by doing nothing, and it has nothing to do with his opponent being better than him. And then he'll win the next 3, but he'll get dropped in one of those rounds, and so he'll lose 3-2 split decision, right?
Or like get a random take, like spend 2 minutes underneath on a random takedown where it's like he's clearly stopping the guy from advancing because he knows what he's doing.
With ease, but
he just refuses to stand up.
Yeah. Yeah, Kunchenko. Kunchenko's like kind of like Jotko or something. Probably a little better than Jotko, but I feel like that tier where it's just frustrating watching him fight.
Kunchenko has like this deep fetish for that moment where like split decisions called out.
Yeah,
just like he is so bored of everything. He's just mastered combat sports, so he just now lives to have split decisions. Which brings him great joy.
Yeah, his fights are always hilarious. All right, and then kind of moving on to this week, I am a little bit behind on tape just because my street was burning down this week, so I had to kind of make sure I didn't die. But I've taped a lot of it though. I feel like I can give some insight. So, Burns and Dunham, haven't taped this yet. I wouldn't play Burns as this big of a favorite just because Dunham has offense, and I could see him just out wrestling and out positioning here too, or just out toughing and out voluming. But it's hard to know where Dunham's at, could just see it being a Matt Brown situation where he just randomly gets killed after putting up a competitive fight. But I need to tape this a little bit more. What about you?
I mean, tape doesn't really help much because I feel like the question is
True.
Dunham shotness. And like, there's no tape of Dunham shotness.
Yeah.
I'm taking a small roll of the dice on Dunham. I got slightly better price than it's currently on offer.
Yeah.
I think Dunham's a lot more functional as a fighter. Like Burns just kind of underwhelms me. He has no real striking defense. Just grappling. His grappling's good, but like Dunham, I believe Dunham can sub-stifle, particularly a guard player.
Yeah. Dunham's crafty.
And Dunham should be able to outstrike him with ease. But Dunham could just gently get tapped in the body once and die.
Yeah, I mean he's almost 40 years old too. But that's kind of the way I see it too. I feel like Prime Dunham wins this just with Dunham has incredible stats. He puts up a high pace. He generally doesn't get hit consistently throughout a fight, and he's a good grappler too.
Yeah, Pete Dunham was a good fighter.
Yeah.
Like he beat. He's like one of the only guys who ever beat Sean Sherritt back in the day.
Well, he lost the fight, but he should have won it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, he's legit. He's always had that weakness to body shots. But he's generally hung around. He's been injured occasionally. But his losses are essentially just the best people in the division and Melvin Guillard.
Yeah.
And he's good. And Burns just does not really have process yet. Like, his striking is shit. He has no real defensive striking. His grappling's nice, but it's guard playing, so like I'm just gonna naturally fade guard.
I think that's kind of just made to lose versus a guy like Dunham. Just a guy who'll float on top and kind of just not get subbed type of thing.
But just generally, guard playing is always going to be like the lowest percentage form of grappling.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where I think playing Burns as a favorite is the wrong side, and it's really like, do you feel like risking playing Dunham because age is an issue. Like age is very much in the stats and everything that there's a decline. There's always a potential for a decline. So it's kind of one of those things. It's almost like the Cruz Cejudo thing where you feel like the line's off, but you don't really know for sure because of the age. And that's kind of the way I feel about the fight.
Yeah, like Dunham looked perfectly fine against Ronaldo. But like Ronaldo kind of lets you have that kind of quiet, laid back fight anyway. So
he just got kneed to the body, right?
Yeah, first round was kind of competitive. Ronaldo edged it, then Ronaldo just kneed him in the body once and he dies.
Yeah, I remember the reaction he had when he got kneed to the body. I thought he was having like a seizure or something. The way he was screaming, it was fucking. I remember it was a very violent reaction.
Yeah, it was a massive knee though, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm not like talking shit. I'm just saying. I just remember he seemed to be in a lot of pain. But yeah, so that's kind of the way I feel about that.
I also like. I just want to. I do like the fact that Dunham was coming back regardless. Like if Dunham was just coming back now because of coronavirus or something, I'd be a lot more concerned. But he was like booked to fight Michael Johnson, so like we missed out on Michael Johnson getting a second round sub by Evan Dunham rather than Thiago Moises.
Yeah, after winning the first round.
Yeah, of course. Like you can't lose the first round.
Yeah. Menifield Clark. When I take this, I was a little more impressed with Menifield than I guess I remember, type of thing. Where he seems like he can actually grapple, but I tend to think Menifield is gonna just win this by kind of pressuring Clark, and I feel like Clark doesn't like when you back him up towards the fence, kind of like Spann did, and I feel like Menifield's defensive grappling even looks decent. It's just a matter of I hadn't seen much tape of Menifield once he's on his back. It was really just that Jolly fight to where if I could trust Menifield to get up a lot or show a get up game, I feel like he'd be fine here. But there's always that possibility Clark can get takedowns and just kind of bleed clock because in that fight with Jolly, he didn't get up for the full minute, and he only got up because the ref stood him up. But I still like his initial takedown defense regardless, and that Jolly fight was a long time ago, so maybe his get-ups have improved. But yeah, like other than that, I mostly think Menifield will probably just kind of eventually land his big shot.
I think minus 250 is a bit of a stretch here. I was actually watching tape for Menifield. I was more impressed than I remembered.
Yeah.
He actually, his game looked more functional in like his third and fourth fight than it has in his UFC fights.
Yeah.
Like, you go back and like, this not even like a competition thing, just how he's moving.
He's like, a good offensive grappler too.
Yeah, like, when he offensive grappler, he flows. Like, he flows like somebody who's legitimately like done a lot of jiu-jitsu. Like, and it's not just like, oh, he was subbing shitters. Just like the way he moves his body, you can see that he knows what he's doing.
No, for sure. Yeah. And that's what I saw because I think, I guess I just didn't pay attention to that as much in his previous fights because I was just more so looking at his defensive wrestling. But I was looking at that and I was surprised. It was good. It looked good. It looked like he had wrestled before, which I don't think he has.
Yeah, and like the Craig fight had the concern of like Craig got really deep in his hips and like 1 or 2 takedowns and couldn't finish them because it was the first layer takedown defense.
Yeah.
But also Craig got like Paul Craig got very deep on your hips. That's an issue.
But the thing is, Craig can do that. Craig can time just a good shot every now and then. I mean, Craig took down Ankalaev multiple times. Remember that?
Yeah, but yeah, true.
He didn't. He didn't do. That's the thing about Paul Craig. I actually think he can time a good takedown here and there. I know a lot of them can look really sloppy if you're just powerful and you get your hips back and do like a cross face and you can throw him down embarrassingly. But he took down Ankalaev twice, and Ankalaev is a fucking great defensive wrestler too. So I actually like Craig can he does that double leg and then he uses his leg to trip you as he's going for the double leg. Like it's just that tall, lanky, awkward type of takedown to where it might not look pretty, but it's effective almost. But yeah.
You're almost to the point of realizing Paul Craig is actually great at the sport. Almost there. Craig was putting a striking clinic on Menifield, which was nice to see. Then fellow Bradley.
You always say that.
He was like he quadrupled his output. Like
yeah, but
it was a domination.
It was like 9 strikes to 7 or something, I feel like, and it was just they're kind of just like clinch knees, you know.
Yeah, I feel Devin Clark's live here just because I feel like Menifield and Clark will both kind of burst in with big shots, and Clark does actually hit pretty hard. Doesn't have necessarily make KOs, but like,
yeah,
I think his chin's a bit underrated, and I think his power's a bit underrated. Like he's hurt people multiple times. Like he seems to hit very hard. He just doesn't seem to consolidate until finish.
And he mostly seems to hurt people though, kind of early, and then after that, not as much anymore. I just feel like sometimes he panics if there's like chaos going on, kind of later in the fight. And I think it's funny. Menifield's cardio actually looks pretty good. Like I know we haven't seen him fight in the third round, but even in the second round, it looks like he's fine, type of thing. So who knows?
I think it depends what sort of tempo. Like Menifield's pretty relaxed tempo. Like against Craig, he barely threw any strikes. He's very kind of doesn't really have many ways of entering the pocket. He just kind of just bursts in with big hooks. Which chance it works is Devin Clark. I feel like this is gonna be close. Like I've got a feeling that they could just roundly swing to death, and like I think Clark is live of them plus 200 even though they swing to death.
Yeah, I'm not playing Menifield's money line or anything. I just think he's gonna win. Just kind of when I take like the way I see it is Clark. His ways to win. I mean, he could land a big shot. That could happen with anyone, right? But I wouldn't count on it. And then his other ways to kind of win rounds. I just feel like on the feet, dude, he backs up so much, and Menifield just always pressures and kind of just like wings hooks, and I feel like Menifield will outland him. I mean, Clark barely outlanded at distance that Townsend guy at distance. Like the way Clark usually wins is he clenches you up if he can't take you down, and he kind of just holds you against the cage and lands like clinch strikes and knees. And I don't think he can do that versus Menifield. Menifield will just get over-unders and turn it around because he's pretty good there. Then I feel like Clark's other way is just to take him down. And I just don't know how good Menifield's get-ups are. So I think that's like the path to where I mean, maybe it's a very easy path for Clark, but I don't know because Menifield's initial takedown defense is good. I just don't know about his get-ups.
Yeah, I got a weird feeling it just devolves into sort of a bomb jousting match.
It could, yeah.
Where both just kind of lined up and throw big entries and like again, minus 250 is just a bit too far for me. Like for Menifield,
no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like I can't see many situations in which Clark is like a really like is a justified plus 200. Like,
Yeah.
Also, I think Clark's chin gets a bit too much shit in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like my criteria is usually have they ever been put out soft? And like Clark tends to get hit pretty hard, but like he's never been KO'd like easily. Against Tozik, he absorbs some nukes. Against Spann, he was looking good, then Spann just kind of hit him with one of his weird flailing Spann strikes. Yeah.
Did he get subbed by Spann?
He did, but he was club sub.
Yeah, club and sub, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Spann kind of hurt him on the cage, and then like Clark just got club sub. It was just like standing club sub. Not much you could really take from it, to be honest, apart from like Clark got hurt in exchange. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised he didn't hurt Spann because like he landed clean on Stamann multiple times. I don't think Spann's got a great chin himself, but it's like, who knows?
Yeah, the main thing I just don't like on the feet is just how Clark always backs himself up against the cage, kind of like Spann, and he just starts looking super uncomfortable, and that's like where Menifield does his shit, you know? And that's where he like explodes in and throws bombs. But I mean, it's still like both. I feel like Menifield's raw enough to where this could randomly turn out to be close too, you know?
I think it's close. Like a lot of it's gets come out of moratorium on like what Menifield's kind of underlying physical characteristics are like. We
Yeah.
haven't really got that strong evidence of Menifield's chin yet. We don't really know that much about Menifield's cardio. Like he's looked okay on both fronts, but you don't know. Think of coronavirus. I just think it's gonna be chaos. Like I think Clark's probably got the more coherent like grappling game plan that might be there, but on the other hand, like Menifield could shut that down. They could just become nukes till somebody drops.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you. Perez and Formiga. I taped this last night. I don't have strong opinions here. I initially had a lean of Perez. I've always been lower on Formiga than other people. He has some good skill set, but he doesn't land strikes ever. And the thing is with like Perez on the feet, I just sometimes, I mean, against Torres, he went fucking nuts and like broke a record for most significant strikes in a round. And then he'll have fights where he only outdistanced Mark De La Rosa, who's not that great of a striker, barely type of thing, you know? So I don't know if he'll I favor him probably standing, but I don't know if he'll just dominate either because Formiga still has some skill on the feet. It's just he doesn't do much type of thing. And then on the grappling, I think Perez is a better wrestler, and I think he could probably get some takedowns here, although Formiga isn't easy to take down. But the issue I have here is Formiga's back taking is really good, and I haven't seen Perez go against that type of grappler, and I didn't like the way he would shoot on a failed takedown and get sprawled out on against Benavidez. But to be fair to him, he was getting hurt and kind of getting pounded on his head at the same time. But I didn't like how he was doing that because I just feel like he gets back taken here. And Benavidez was like doing that by kind of spinning and taking the back and punching type of thing to where I just get a little worried if there's some like scramble. I don't know how Perez, I don't know if he might just be able to scramble right back out of a back take, but I don't know that for sure. I have no idea. So I can't be confident in this fight.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I kind of say it broadly the same way. Perez, small favourite. Should be more competent on the feet, but it's hard to rely on his output. Perez against Joe B, like even like against Joe B, kind of like just sat at range. Like I remember a lot of people, whenever Joe B was like close, like plus 130 or something from memory, or plus 115.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was a bunch of strange takes to that fight, and like Perez didn't really assert himself, so who knows whether he'll over respect Formiga. Just a thing I tend to look at with grappling specialists sometimes. I know these guys have a history of training together, which I usually feel tends to favour the I guess like one that doesn't rely so much on grappling.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like grappling's usually easy to figure out. Like, yeah, if I've trained with somebody a few times, I can usually sort of pick out what their favourite entries are, and I can kind of make it a more consistent striking fight.
It could help Perez here. I mean, it's speculation totally. It could help Perez just in the sense where like he might understand where he gets like he's felt the back takes before, so I feel like it's easier to learn how to defend, you know? But who knows? I mean, it could very well not be the case.
Yeah, it's blind speculation. It's just something I tend to just something I've noticed over the years of grappling with just like grappling matches where there's history. I just feel like grappling usually gets nullified a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, should be fun. How do you feel like the under 2.5? I suppose it kind of depends what tempo Perez sets. It's kind of my feeling.
Yeah. I like it just because it's a big plus money, and I mean, I could just see.
They both like to finish.
They're both live to finish. They definitely are. Formiga with the sub. And yeah. And I could just see Perez if he just kind of came out hard. I don't think Perez can ever sub Formiga. Could Formiga land a KO? Probably not, but like I've seen stranger shit happen. Probably, yeah. I mean, I could see it. I mean, there's definitely threats in both positions on the mat and on the feet. So
yeah, like I can't think of many like safe areas here. Like apart from maybe if they just like decide to have a very low tempo striking match.
yeah, which could happen.
Like it's just something I did look for up unders. Like I just feel like most minutes in this fight should be contested somewhere where the finish is viable.
Yeah. Well, at that price, it's a good price for sure. I mean,
yeah, like that's
you're getting,
women's MMA level.
Yeah, it's women's MMA level, and there are threats here for sure. I mean, I would be sweating a minus 250 to go to the cards, because there are definitely threats for sure.
It's just broadly, I honestly haven't played that. Just looking at it now, just kind of thinking, yeah, should be interesting. Perez's last sub was weird, wasn't the half guard arm triangle thing?
Yeah.
I was like, I suppose he got the body type for it, but just surprised to see one of those finish at flyweight in the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of one of those. I really don't. I feel like if I've seen Perez go against back takers before and he can scramble out well, like Benavidez, he does that thing where he stays high and he shifts one hip over to get to like where they only have a half hook in, like a half position, and then he just spins in. Like if I've seen Perez do shit like that, I'd be confident in him because I do think he can get his own takedowns here and probably hold top position at times. Although if you shoot in on Formiga, you are exposing a potential sprawl and back take, and then I probably favor him standing. It's just I don't know exactly what he's going to do either. So yeah, I think the line's fun. I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it's reasonable. I'm fine with it. Byrd and Pitolo. I don't have much to say about this fight. I taped it. I do think Byrd and what's his name, Potter. They have different grappling styles where Potter kind of will like leech onto you a little more and clench you up. Because Pitolo showed decent get ups early in on the fight, and he does kind of like at least swing. So I could see that just making shit interesting, but I understand having the grappler as the favorite here. The guy who will shoot for a double leg and actually go for subs and hold top position. But I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this fight.
Yeah, but also Bird's like a middleweight. It's been middleweight for a while. Pitolo's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pitolo probably gas, but Pitolo doesn't necessarily gas as hard as against Potter. Like I've grappled with Potter. It's a strange experience.
Yeah.
It just does not work how you'd think it works. It's one of those weird grindy games. It shouldn't be as grindy as this.
It's a different style of grappling for sure. Like I could tell kind of going into that fight too. But I want to tape a little bit to kind of see some of the grappling nuances. But I just remember Pitolo was like working up to his feet decently. And he seemed even on his regional fights to not. It's just like whenever you kind of leech onto him more, where I don't think Byrd really does that. Byrd kind of just shoots kind of like a single shot type of thing. So that's kind of my thoughts going in, but I need to look at the tape.
Didn't mind Bird's striking against Darren Stewart in round one. He kind of just flagged, and Darren Stewart just kind of destroyed him in a single moment of Darren Stewarting.
Yeah.
But I think in hindsight, Darren Stewart's a lot better a loss than he looked like back then.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Like,
Kazian one was just kind of Travis Brown.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you get Travis Brown.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a bit of a dumpster fire, but yeah, I think Bird's a justified favourite. I haven't really done deep tape on this one.
Yeah,
I think Pitolo is probably better than he looked like against Potter. Like Potter just
agreed.
You just get dragged into Potter's existence.
He clinches up weird too, where like it's not the same. You can't just like get space as easy if you get back up type of thing. So that's the way I saw it, because I remember going into that fight, everyone was playing Pitolo, and I was kind of like, I don't, because the same style of little clinch grappling had given Pitolo issues on the regionals, and that kind of happened in that fight. but I do need to tape a little more. Moving on to a fun fight, good fight, Stamann and Kelleher. What are your thoughts here?
Stamann could be. I mean, I think Kelleher could be a bit tighter of a dog.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Stamann. I'm looking for Kelleher no scorecards, whoever it ends up being.
Yeah.
Kelleher decisions plus 635. Fuck. Well, it just strikes me as being a bit wide. I think Kelleher generally competes here. Like Kelleher's a tough out for pretty much everybody. Stamann rarely puts a stamp on things.
Stamann doesn't get finishes. That's the problem. And if you don't finish Kelleher, it's probably going to be, it's not going to be a picnic type of thing.
Yeah, like Kelleher he just comes at you, and like Stamann should come at him back. But I favor Stamann, but like minus 150ish. This feels kind of like Smolka Kenny to me, like dynamic.
Totally agreed. That's my exact thoughts. I thought the line was a little too wide, but it was it's almost like marginal, where you're kind of thinking maybe there's like a 3-4% edge on the books type of thing. But
it could be more than that here, but like
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I just feel like Kelleher should probably hang around and hang tough, put up volume. Stamann will hang around, put up volume. Stamann probably gets top position if it goes to the ground. Like this is honestly like I'm pretty much thinking about it the same way as I did like Smolka versus Kenny at this point. Like probably a bit less grappling orientated, but yeah.
I expect Stamann also to probably get off to an early lead, but then it could just kind of become nuts. It could just like become a little closer, I feel, and more competitive.
Yeah, and like I'm staying, and just Kelleher is generally he's just tough and he hangs in there. Like he's hard. It's hard to dominate him.
And Kelleher has won a lot of fights and decisions based on kind of using his wrestling to kind of get takedowns in pretty competitive striking fights type of thing. And Kelleher has good takedown stats in general and seems competent at stopping takedowns and has that guillotine to threat. So for Stamann, I don't like that one of Stamann's main ways. I think he can get takedowns here, but I don't like that one of his main ways to win fights isn't going to be as easy here, But yeah, I just think it's going to be kind of a fun scrap. That's the way I see it.
I'm also not entirely sold on Stamann's chin. Stamann's tough, but he's been dropped and kind of hurt a few times.
Yeah.
And Kelleher, I'm not saying Kelleher's a massive hitter, but like it's definitely something to consider.
Well, and just that Stamann's been nearly subbed quite a few times. Like, I mean, he got stubbed by Sterling, a little bit different of a submission, but even Caraway put him in some really rough spots. And Kelleher, Kelleher getting a guillotine would not be a surprise either, just in kind of some chaotic scramble type of thing. Because Kelleher is just really good at that. So
I'd say it'd be more like a club sub sort of situation. Yeah, it's live.
Probably. Yeah, no, I agree. Probably. I'm just saying it's possible. They fight 100 times. You'd imagine a club and sub happening, right? At least a few.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think let's check the numbers. I remember seeing Kelleher's sub was like plus 900, and I was like, that's probably not bad.
Yeah.
Just as what some of the Aussie books open up their own lines because they just enjoy taking punishment. But let's just check that price. Stamann Kelleher. Yeah, like Kelleher subs, the sub is plus 900 here. Like, it's probably a club sub, so it's why it's hard ones to play.
Yeah.
Where, like, I feel like Kelleher is probably going to need to knock him 80% out to get the sub, but then I'm pretty sure Kelleher goes for that sub, so just hard. But yeah, I think Kelleher's a grinder. Stamann probably puts a little bit more stamp on rounds, but yeah, it should be close. Probably a great fight.
Not that this is kind of like a Wikipedia observation, but it's funny that Stamann's decision line is minus 140, and Kelleher hasn't lost by a decision since 2013. So it's like, I mean, obviously, like different matchups and things like that, but I'm just saying he's not an easy guy just to win a decision on type of thing. He's just kind of been subbed a few times, kind of finished a few times too. Obviously, Lineker would have had a decision on him if he didn't finish him in round 3, though. But just pointing it out, not saying that there's much to read out of it. But Heinisch Meerschaert, I know you're going to bet the house on Meerschaert here because you hate Ian Heinisch.
I just think that reform is impossible for the for the judicial system. They just punish convicted felons. But all seriousness, I've got a little bit on Meerschaert plus 120, but I'm not crazy about it. I just think Meerschaert will actually have the process edge here, which is unusual. And Heinisch's win condition is probably scrappy split. There could be a fight where Heinisch's split decision is actually a 70% outcome. So
70% outcome. Yeah, seriously.
I got Heinisch's grappling defenses. Like ACJ and Pereira both almost subbed him. It's not like he's immune to subs. He just kind of throws himself at the guy till they stop trying to just get exhausted. Like Meerschaert, I think hangs tougher in terms of cardio. Presents more of a standing threat, and like Heinisch the striking is awful. Heinisch just kind of throws himself at Meerschaert for 15 minutes. That's kind of my view here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I kind of just I don't know. I just see it as close. Like I don't really have strong opinions.
Honestly, if it's like Kelleher, Stamann, and Heinisch, Meerschaert have a lot of correlations. Just in terms of just like tempo. It's the way RTD might be worth a play, but the issue is Heinisch isn't really a solid finisher in any phase. Possibly like an exhaustion KO, but Meerschaert's incredibly tough. Meerschaert should just hang it. It'll just probably be a dumpster fire. I personally lean Meerschaert just because I feel like he's got a bit more finishing upside, a bit more dominance upside, but yeah, should be close.
I don't have strong opinions here. Sorry, I was like dealing with my dog, but I just kind of see it as I don't know. I could just see the forward pressure of Heinisch and hustle winning him the fight, and I could also I tend to think it's just going to be kind of close type of thing. And I don't like Meerschaert gives up takedowns really easily, so I don't like that type of thing where Heinisch could maybe get top position, but still, like who the fuck knows? I just feel like this is going to be a dumpster fire.
Particularly since Meerschaert's way of grappling is just genuinely bizarre.
Dude, he like gives up mount so he can reverse you.
I know, it's great.
It's
just fun. Like, yeah, he just does his own thing. He's a very unique specimen.
Yep. But I don't know. I'm going to take a look at the tape and things, but I just don't have strong opinions going in. I just think it's a mess. Hooper and Caceres. Do you have any opinions here?
Speaking of messes, Hooper is functionally non-functional. Like at least, like I'm not sure how good a grappler he is in like the absolute terms, but at least he like constantly tries to drag people into his game.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of hoping Caceres gets subbed here like in like a minute or something, so I can then fade Hooper against someone more reliable.
Yeah.
Like the worst case scenario here for me is like, I get past this fight at this moment because I'm just like I can't trust Caceres with massive holes in Hooper's game. So I'm kind of hoping Hooper looks good so I can then fade him next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to look into the grappling a little more. It's kind of one of the I don't like that Caceres has given up, takedowns in his last, like, 5, 6, 7. I think he's given up a takedown, at least one takedown in 3, 6, 7 of his last 8 fights. So it's kind of I don't like that, but I just need to look into I feel like this isn't like a fight metric fight. I really need to look into the intricacies of the grappling here type of thing. And yeah, like Tamer's not a very good grappler, so it's hard to draw too much there.
I also think it's a bit of an oversimp. I know some people are just acting like Caceres is just an easy tap because he's been subbed a few times, but like I feel like there's a bit more context to it. Like Knight was kind of weird. Like it looked kind of like a club sub. Coron Gracie is Coron Gracie.
Yeah.
Uriah Faber is Uriah Faber. And like, even against Uriah Faber, he had decent guard retention for like 2 rounds and then just gave us back in the exchange and kind of got subbed. But like, yeah. And it's like his earlier sub losses were like 2011 and all that, which I think is, more or less irrelevant for a lot of people's grappling.
Yeah.
And Hooper is just like the way he grapples, like he could be some insane, like ultra high level, and he could just be an aggressive belt sort of level. Like he could be Manny Bermudez.
Yeah. What's his belt? Do we know?
I think it's purple belt from memory. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking for like just jiu-jitsu tournament footage after, like, cause that's sort of something I tend to quite try and use, sort of contemporize where somebody's actually at. And like I couldn't find much.
I'm gonna deep tape this fight.
It's just Hooper's young, and like at least he'll try to hit. Caceres doesn't impose any form of process, and at least Hooper will reliably try to get Caceres into his world. But yeah, it's possible in my book that Caceres could just be the better grappler. At which point Hooper just looks like Hooper just gets destroyed if Caceres can out grapple him. Like Hooper, he's aggressive in every phase in grappling. It's just how functional is he, and like he's so hittable on the feet.
Yeah, it looks like he's a brown belt.
But honestly,
he won the Pan Ams as a blue, which is just kind of whatever.
Yeah, is that weight class or adults? I mean, is that age class or adults? That's also the issue.
It was the juvenile division, so it's not like the same thing.
Yeah, that's always the issue. Like you dig into it, it's like it's under 17 rooster weight, yada yada yada.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's not like winning the black belt in the absolute division, you know, at the Pan Ams. It's much different. Yeah, I'm gonna really look into the grappling here because I just feel like, I don't know. In fights like this, you have to pretty much answer one question: is he gonna out grapple him? You know, because you pretty much know how the fight will go if he doesn't, and if it looks like he's going to at a high clip, then he's probably going to win this fight at a high clip. So, yeah, I'm gonna really deep tape that one. I'm gonna do that after this podcast. But O'Malley and Wineland. I think the line's now getting too wide, but I do think O'Malley is going to win. But Wineland's tough. Isn't very easy to hit either. But yeah, I know you're probably playing the dog here because it's your stuff.
I don't mind Malley minus 150, minus 200. One's actually done pretty well historically against kickers. He uses straight punches to close them down pretty well. Malley's cardio issues possibly. I just don't like how he just fights in such a high amplitude, high variance kind of way. Yeah, Wineland hits hard as well, and like minus 500 in the pure striking fight in the middle of coronavirus. Come on, like it's just there's that ever present sort of 4 or 5% chaos thing. So if you're playing Malley, you've really got to think he's like 90% plus in a pure striking match.
Do you really think he can? This is like my issue with like Wineland. Do you really think he can outvolume like O'Malley or outland him over 3 rounds? Because that's like generally how he doesn't win fights usually that way.
I think he should be
close, maybe keep it close. Yeah,
I think he can keep it close for plus 350. It's much what I want. Like I'm fully aware that Malley probably wins a split decision, which Malley doesn't look that great in. That's my prediction for this fight.
Yeah.
Like Malley will just cling on, hit like a double leg or something whilst hurt, and like just barely eke out a terrible split decision, whilst the Wineland bettors just cry into their various beverages.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I still think O'Malley's pretty good. Like I know, eventually if he fights someone, with the right style, I think he'll get fucked up. But in a pure striking fight, I still think he's pretty good. But I favor him here. But Wineland's tough for sure. But
also,
I didn't think Wineland looked that great against Popov after I retaped it.
Yeah, agreed. Like I played him against Popov fairly hard, and that was fairly touch and go. But like Popov's not awful. Popov's a solid striker. My main concern is Popov's grappling. Like Popov's fine strike. Like a pure striking match. I don't think Popov is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
Also, my feel is kind of like Malley. For me, Malley's best striking performance is the Sukumtar one, and I feel Sumidaji kind of took a lot of the shine off that.
Yeah.
like Sumadaju just dominated Sukumtar to quite a similar level. It's quite is a similar level to Mali.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, maybe Sukumtar just doesn't deal with outside strikers.
Yeah. The thing is, like, one thing I do want to point out is I think Terrion Ware is super underrated as just kind of like a volume striker. I mean, he outlanded Stamann at distance, and he outlanded Duquesnoy at distance too. And like O'Malley landed 141 strikes on him, you know, and at distance he landed 131 and attempted 241. So I just think O'Malley's volume is kind of nuts. But like still Wineland is good and it is a striking fight, you know? Like so I understand kind of the arguments back then. I still think O'Malley should be a pretty heavy favorite, but I do like I can't yell at people trying to take a swing at Wineland either, you know?
Yeah, like my minus 500 on Mali, yeah, minus 350 is what's the percentage on minus? Sorry, what's the percentage on plus 350?
Plus 350, it's going to be like 28% probably. Wait,
yeah.
Check that.
On top of my head, that works out. Plus 300 is 25. I think it's about 22, isn't it? Remember?
Hold on, I'm checking right now.
22-ish, isn't it?
What were we looking at? Plus 350.
Because plus 300 is 25%, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I'll take a swing on power, chaos, Corona Chaos, and just, striking match.
Yeah. Plus 400 is always 20%. Plus, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, so 22.5. Yeah. Yeah, it could happen. But I still expect O'Malley to win. But I think eventually O'Malley will get some tougher matchups. Like, imagine him fighting just a Marab or something.
That much goes to everybody at bantamweight. Like every bantamweight prospect, just imagine him fighting Marab.
I feel like we say that every podcast. I feel like Marab's always our barometer of someone who's just going to randomly a hype train who's just eventually going to get fed to Marab and die. But yeah. Martin and Magny, I think this is going to be competitive. What about you?
My gut feel is that Martin throws away a split decision going for stupid guard sub. I just have this feeling that he'll hurt Magny at some point. Like it'll be 29-28 and probably come down to him going for a guillotine.
Yeah.
Magny absorbs leg kicks. I think Magny's getting a bit too much credit for the Leech win. I've always loved Magny. He's one of my favorite fighters because I just enjoy his brand of just plugging away relentlessly.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be generally close. Magny doesn't really use his length as much as he should. Martin should be able to leg kick him. I like Martin's toolkit, but the issue with Martin, he enjoys playing off his back way too much. Magny can just kind of float there.
Yeah.
They're both tough as hell. I feel it should be pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty close. I could see Martin landing the harder shots type of thing, and that could really matter. But I do think Magny may have a few more ways to win the fight just by clinching up, maybe getting the takedown here and there. But I don't have I just expect it to be kind of competitive, and I wouldn't be surprised if either guy won type of thing. Yeah, that's the way I see it. No strong opinions.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, I might play Martin no scorecards if it pops up. Looks like it'll be plus. Oh, it looks like probably a small favourite at the moment. I feel like Martin's a lot more like the finish.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
But yeah, generally. Even GTD's minus 200, so I don't mind.
Yeah.
Magny's ungodly tough and doesn't get tired and never injures anybody. So, I could see Magny just kind of winning from a combination of enthusiasm and top control. I could see Martin just winning him by having the bigger moments. It should be pretty close.
Yeah, that's pretty much my exact opinions on it. I wouldn't want to play Magny as minus 150 or anything, though. But if I was forced to play, I'd probably go with the dog. But I don't know. It's just kind of one of those. I'd rather just see how it's going and see if there's a live line opportunity type of thing. But yeah, I don't have strong opinions. There should be a fun fight.
Magny deserves a shot at Woodley.
I mean, he would probably beat Woodley, right? Like, I mean,
There's like a solid.
Is he going to get knocked out? That's the question.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he could get knocked out with a decent clip.
But like, I mean, if he doesn't, he wins 50-45, right? Pretty much.
But doesn't that go for everybody?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's the question, Woodley. Is the knockout going to happen in 10 minutes? Yes, all right, fair enough. No, all right.
It's hilarious, like what just kind of wins will do, like a winning streak, because people just randomly forgot Jake Shields outstruck him over 3 rounds. Jake Shields, who isn't really known as a striker, you know, but because he Woodley just went on a very strange run. It was nuts. But yeah, I'll stop bashing Woodley. I honestly feel bad. I don't even dislike him. I just think he was overrated, which I think is totally fine to say. You know,
Tim just hates people from St. Louis. Nobody's allowed to have St. Louis for Tim.
I was cheer. I mean, I watched Woodley's entire D1 wrestling career at Mizzou. He was there with Michael Chandler and Ben Askren at the same time. I watched all their careers. I was cheering for all those guys when they made it out. But when you're betting fights and you just see a guy who's KO or bust, it just is what it is, you know. But yeah, let's move on to another fight. Probably the most anticipated fight on the card: Sandhagen Sterling. Your opinions here?
I think Sterling's got a few more ways to pull ahead in this one. Like the grappling, I feel like favors Sterling.
Yeah,
it's a bit more functionally long. Sandhagen's a bit more hittable. Weird feeling that Sterling's cardio will round revert to what it used to be. Like just one day, just could drop right off a cliff just because fuck you.
Yeah.
Like Sterling's cardio flip is. I talk about this a lot, but Sterling's cardio flip is insane. He used to lose fights gassing. Now he's just outlasts people. It's crazy. But yeah, I think he should be a bit more defensively functional striking, and also grappling means he's probably more like to pick up rounds.
Yeah.
I'd cap him like minus 140, minus 150-ish, but yeah.
Yeah, the way I see it is like I'll get into the grappling in a second, but I feel like Sandhagen's main way to win this fight is just kind of, I mean, a knockout could happen for either side, right? But main way is to outvolume him. And the thing is, Aljo has only absorbs 1.95 strikes per minute, which is just insane. Especially because like it's not like his stats are skewed at all. He's got a long career in the UFC and he's fought a good sample of the division, pretty much a representative sample of the division. And the most strikes he's ever absorbed was 39 against Rafael Assuncao. That's the most, and usually like people don't even break 20 or 30 on him. But then the other time, which was a big difference, but it was just a different type of fight because Munoz just forces you into this fight with his pressure. Munoz landed 105 on him. So like that's a huge jump from 39 to 105. But Sterling broke the record for most significant strikes landed in a 3-rounder in that fight in bantamweight for 174. So he outstruck, like even when he finally got hit, it's because, and I expect him to absorb more strikes here because Sandhagen will kind of force him into that at times. But he outlanded Munoz still 174 to 105. And like his striking ratio is incredible. Sterling. So I just feel like when your win condition is to win by outvoluming someone, because Sandhagen's not the better grappler here. It's just tough. I'm surprised he's even money considering his way to win is outvoluming him, and no one's ever done it to Sterling ever in a fight, in any decision. And you know what I mean? So that's kind of one of my main just overall reads on the fight.
Yeah, I think Sandhagen's got a bit more hype because he's like fresh in the scene, and Sterling's kind of had those not embarrassing early losses, or when I can't think Sterling hasn't got any embarrassing losses, but used to gas.
Yeah,
that's been my consideration. Also, Sandhagen, I don't like Sandhagen's takedown defense. I think Sterling can like get ride time if he gets a decent intro.
Yeah. It's funny. I have a bit of a different view because I feel like I don't know. I don't listen to other content really just because I don't have time. It's not that I don't like anyone else's stuff, but and I don't follow like all that many people on Twitter. But I do feel like a lot of people kind of just think Sandhagen. Tell me what the consensus is. Like, do people think Sandhagen is going to win if it stays standing? Is that kind of the deal?
I've seen a bunch of like really strong opinion. I can't really say consensus line. Better than May, I know a bunch of people who want Sandhagen. Let me just check the thingamajig.
It's just, yeah.
I haven't really read any in-depth breakdowns on it from other people yet because it's early in the week. But like, yeah, just people seem to respect Sandhagen striking a lot when I feel like the volume parity should be there.
Yeah, the thing is, like on the feet, even Sandhagen's. I think his volume, although it's very good, I do think it's skewed. He lands 7.14 strikes per minute, but he absorbs 4.16. And I feel like in fights like this, especially when your data is skewed, because I mean, the dude landed 66 fucking strikes on Alcantara in 6 minutes, and they were all ground strikes, right? You know, so like shit like that is going to skew up your stats a little bit. And he just beat the fuck out of Austin Arnett, who has been destroyed in many fights. But he still absorbed 4.16. I know some of that was against Lineker, but even like Assuncao pretty much landed on him the amount he usually lands on people. And Sandhagen's defense is 58%. And like 58% isn't great. So it just tells me that he's not going to have a reach advantage here, which he usually does. So it just tells me on the feet that I think Sterling will be able to kind of land his kicks. Like Sterling lands on everyone. He landed over 100 strikes on Jimmy Rivera. And it just, there's nothing about Sandhagen's deep. Like I really like his offensive striking, and I played Sandhagen versus Assuncao, but it just tells me that he's going to get landed here. I don't see how Sterling doesn't. And I'm not even talking about the grappling right now. And although Sandhagen's volume is really good, Assuncao generally doesn't get absorbed on a lot. And Sandhagen only landed 62 strikes on Assuncao. And when you're going against Sterling, who I've talked about, he absorbs way less than Assuncao. I just think Sandhagen's going to have a lot more, like, he's not going to land as much. And I feel like he's going to get hit. Does that kind of make sense? Just like, I just feel like the ratios are kind of, the numbers tell me that Sterling has a good chance to outstrike him. And I'm not saying he does easily, and I'm not saying he does every time. I'm just saying I honestly might even favor him to outland at distance on the feet. And that doesn't even mention the fact that Sterling against multiple guys will clinch you up against the cage, where Sandhagen gets clinched up all the time, and he'll land clinch strikes. He landed like 20 to 30 against Rivera. If you remember that, he clinched him right at the get-go and landed a bunch of clinch strikes. And Assuncao landed 12 clinch strikes on Sandhagen. And that wasn't even his main game plan. And Sandhagen landed like 2 clinch strikes against Assuncao. And so I just feel like the clinch strikes and the clinch advantage positionally is all Sterling. And then even at distance, just kind of with those ratios, I feel like it's probably close, you know? And then you go to the grappling, and I think Sandhagen, even though and I know I talk a lot of numbers a lot, and a lot of people are bringing up Sandhagen's 27% takedown defense, so he like sucks there. I actually think he's really not spent that much time on his back, though. Like, he's done good standing up, so I think him just getting laid on is being a little overblown here. Like, I actually give him a little more respect in the grappling, but he does give up his back a lot. From that standing position where like you get clinched on, you take the back standing, kind of like Merab does a lot, and Sterling did it to Johns. He does it all the time, and he could get like a standing back take. He did it to Stamann. So I just feel like I don't know. I'm just ranting right now. Sorry for hijacking this, but I just feel like Sterling has a lot of ways to win here, and where Sandhagen's supposed to win or usually wins with volume, he might not even win there. So that's the way I see it. So I'm playing Sterling.
I roughly agree. Like, I believe Sterling, Sandhagen's distance striking should be pretty close.
Yeah.
And Sterling should be able to dominate any clinch or should be strong with any clinch or ground exchanges.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying Sterling's a lock or anything like that, but I priced like minus 140, minus 150.
Yeah,
I feel like it's probably still mostly take place in kickboxing, but yeah, I feel like the grappling optics are favorable. Even if Sandhagen gets up from a takedown or something like that, still I'm taking close rounds.
Yeah, Sterling's tricky, man. Like I really taped him a lot, and he'll do like failed takedowns on purpose, where he'll jump on a single leg, and then on the it's almost like Frankie Edgar, and then he'll break away and land a strike type of thing. He's really good at that, and I just feel like these little tactics. I think that's a reason why he lands so much and just doesn't get landed on. He kind of has these ways like clinching you up as well, where he uses good head position and will just foot stomp and land knees. He just puts you in a lot of situations where you're kind of neutralized and he's landing strikes. And I just feel like those little things are going to work. I just feel like he has more ways to win here. But I like Sandhagen's game. And I think he's good. But Sterling's really improved too. I mean, he kind of dominated Jimmy Rivera,
Yeah, like that's probably Rivera's good. Like I rate Rivera, and he just tore for him, and yeah, it was a great performance.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the way I see it. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. Maybe Sandhagen will randomly just like be a dominant grappler. That's kind of the new thing. Like, he just out grapples Sterling with these. Assuncao Garbandt. Your opinions?
It's hard to have opinions in this fight. Garbandt should be quicker, I guess. Explode on him. Assuncau's usually quite good at Assuncao kind of has a Woodley game if Woodley was smarter.
Yeah.
Like I was originally gonna look for GTD, but like it's only plus 115. I was hoping for it to be like something really. I was hoping the market would go crazy about the whole Garbandt knockout streak sort of thing and make GTD like plus 200. Because I feel like even like Munhoz Garbandt, they weren't doing that much the first 3 minutes. Do kind of favour Assuncao in certain respects. I like leg kicks. I like this whole diversity of approach. I like Assuncao's got more options, but also like Assuncao's getting old. Garbandt could just sheer sort of physical ferocity could be worth the difference. Should be close. Like I haven't got too strong an opinion at this point.
Yeah, I don't have strong opinions either. I've always thought Garbandt was a little overrated, just because he doesn't land takedowns, and if he doesn't knock you out, he honestly I mean, he's skilled though. Like, he's definitely skilled, but it's not like he runs away with rounds if he doesn't knock you out. That's just all I'm saying. I guess I'm not trying to like badmouth the guy. It's just he's skilled for sure. It's just he doesn't fight in a way that guarantees rounds, because he doesn't get takedowns and he doesn't put up a ton of volume, but he like technically does a lot of good things. But I played against him his last 3 fights. I played Dillashaw both times, and I played Munoz. And I played Munoz by KO too, which was like a ridiculous price at the time.
Yeah, it was like plus 700 or something crazy.
I just saw that Munoz was going to draw him into a firefight. And even if Garbandt kind of fucked him up a little bit early, I trusted Munoz. Munoz has a legendary chin. And I just trusted him to eventually turn it into a swinging match. And it kind of happened a little sooner than I expected in that fight. But I just thought at some point that was going to happen. And I thought the leg kicks would be there too. And I thought he would just kind of like be a little more urgent type of thing. But yeah. I don't know. This fight, if I was forced to play it, I would play Assuncao. I would take the plus money. Assuncao is super hard to hit, and it's not like Garbandt puts up a lot of volume. So if Garbandt doesn't land a KO here, and I just don't think it's always good to rely on a KO. And if he doesn't put up a KO here, this is going to be close. It's going to be a sweat if you're on Cody at like minus 160.
Yeah, like the more I think about it, Assuncao dog probably is the side, because it's more like I feel like if it ends up being a tapered decision, Assuncao's got more ways to score. And
it'll still be close though, I feel.
If Garbandt just decides to bite the mouthpiece, and if he dies, he dies. It's probably favour Garbandt a little bit. Like Assuncao's chin isn't bulletproof. He's almost 38. He's 38 in like a month.
Assuncao's chin's probably better than Garbrandt, so
the Garbandts have been like put out that easy. Like,
True.
yeah, I guess Munhoz, again, like, it's a Devin Clark thing to me. It's like, yeah, he gets knocked out, but like, it's not like he's getting knocked out soft.
Yeah.
That's
But it's
yeah,
also still not good that he's been knocked out 3 straight times. That can't help your chin either,
oh, 100%,
But
yeah, 100% agreed.
that's speculation, though.
Like, Mirage essentially KO'd, Assuncao, essentially. Like, that was a clubs up.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he's almost 38, which is concerning at fair bantamweight.
Yeah. The way I see it, if my life was on the line, I wouldn't be confident betting either guy. Because that's the way. Like, I don't really know. I could easily see either guy winning.
If Assuncao was like 2 or 3 years younger, I'd probably take the plus 130, but nah.
Yeah.
Like, that's all my thing is like, the physically he's kind of drained enough that he hasn't got it anymore. And even like the under over is hard because like Assuncao is usually good at getting people into his game.
Yeah.
But the question, like, you could see Garbandt just agreeing to fight at Assuncau's pace, or you could see just Garbandt just deciding somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, because like I kind of think this is gonna go a little longer, but you never know with striking fights, because especially when a KO's in play for either guy, just because tempo could just be the reason why the over under hits. But the tempo with Munoz was nuts because that's what Munoz does. Like Munoz won't just stand there. He's going to come after and just pressure you. Where Assuncao will probably just stand at range.
Even then, like Munoz for the first like 3 minutes of that fight wasn't that high tempo. It was like the headbutt, which kind of Garbandt went nuts as soon as Garbandt got dropped.
Yeah.
Like that last minute was insane tempo, but the first 3 minutes were fairly crazy.
Yeah.
Assuncao's not going to come charging after him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like. There was always going to be a point where Munoz came charging after Garbandt. Where here, it probably doesn't happen, but we'll see what happens.
Again, it just depends when it depends when Garbandt feels like it. Assuncao subs plus 1100, just roundly thinking, but
yeah,
probably stay standing. Like we haven't seen deep grappling from Garbandt, have we?
He's good defensively.
Good takedown defense, but like we've seen him on his back. We haven't really seen him on his back. I remember Munoz was on top of him for a bit, but like we haven't really seen him defend subs.
He seems like he can scramble well, but like we don't really know everything.
Yeah, I hope Assuncao pulls it off. But actually, divisionally, like I honestly, I wouldn't mind either of these guys winning. Like Assuncao wins, it's good for his kind of reputation and all that. Like, I want Assuncao to beat Garbandt and Cruz, kind of prove he could have been champion. But also, Garbandt winning would probably help revitalize him a bit in terms of the divisional.
Yeah.
Like, this kind of shit if he's a 4-loss streak, and like, the Dillashaw fights are both winnable for him, in my opinion. Like, he probably 200. He should have been plus 200 against Dillashaw. But I'm sure there's another reality where he just gets a knockout in Dillashaw in round 1 in the first fight. We just never hear of Dillashaw again.
Yeah, kind of like Cejudo Dillashaw. But
shit happens.
Yeah, shit does happen. All right, last fight. I don't think we really need to go too hard into this. Nunes Spencer. Nunes should be a big favorite, but honestly, I could see a world where Nunes gets tired or something, and Spencer, gets her ass kicked enough to where Nunes gets tired and Spencer kind of gets grappling going. Because I mean, even some of the grappling Nunes had in Germain's fight was kind of sketchy, I feel. But that's pretty much it. Like, I feel like even if Spencer does win, she's going to always kind of take a bit of a beating on the way there, if that makes sense. But, I mean, Nunes should win, though. She's more well-rounded and everything, but not worth a parlay or betting straight at minus 630.
The thing that confuses me is Nunes RTD is minus 250, and over 1.5 rounds is minus 190. Nunes has one UFC finish outside of round 1, which is Pennington, which was a kind of cruisy pace until Pennington's eye exploded.
Yeah.
Like, Nunes, in my opinion, is either 3 minutes of rabies or kind of cruisy, 20 strikes around, kickboxy okay. So, like, that split doesn't make much sense to me, just in terms of like how Nunes tends to fight. I'd probably take a pop at like Nunes round 1 or something, or even Nunes up 1, just because I feel like Spencer's fucked if Nunes decides to go rabies on her. But if this ends up being like plodding cardio Nunes, I could see Spencer just kind of existing in her direction 25 minutes.
That's the issue. If she survives for 25 minutes, then it could get a little sketchy, right?
Like Pennington was kind of similar, but Pennington didn't pressure that hard, I guess. Like Pennington had enough fear in her of her, she didn't really push onto her. But yeah, Nunes should win this.
Yeah,
I think Nunes should be front loaded just because Nunes historically her finishes are so front loaded.
Yeah,
like this is also if she does decide to put that 3 minutes of burst out after she's done it, she's kind of fucked, or she just slows down so much.
Yeah, it would just be hilarious if like she battered her for a round or two and then just kind of got too tired to where, Spencer gets top position and kind of just like, starts threatening her with like elbows and just like sub attempts and things like that. But I mean, it could happen. I could see a world where that happens, right? But she's still like, even in her win condition, Spencer, she's still going to take a beating like on the way there. Because dude, she has no striking defense, Spencer.
Yeah, and like, people were saying Cyborg couldn't stop Spencer, but like Cyborg hurt her a bunch of times, and also I think Nunes in that first round rabies window hits harder than Cyborg.
Agreed.
Like Cyborg carries power a lot better and is a lot more intelligent. I think Nunes in the first round is just way more high pressure. Like,
and that honestly,
Cyborg beats Nunes. We both agree on this.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree. I said that fight was strange, but I'm just saying that the Spencer Cyborg fight, that was still like that was kind of like miraculous that she didn't get finished. She got the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah, and like I remember live scoring people like Cyborg was like minus 500 after round two.
It was less than
like
minus 300 after round one.
Yeah, I remember we were piling money. We were like, Cyborg doesn't get tired, you idiots. Like Cyborg. Yeah, it was strange. Like Nunes could actually get tired here because like that's how Nunes operates. Nunes is either like 30 strikes round for 5 rounds or 100 strikes from round one, nothing after round one.
It was
kind of hoping Spencer lulls her into that because I want some round. I'll probably have some round one Nunes. And if Spencer's still standing, maybe look at live betting.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember that fight. Joe Rogan does all a favor by just randomly thinking Spencer was doing really well in round one, and she got outstruck 45-10, and they were like big shots. She got the shit kicked out of her, and she missed every takedown. And I think it was because some random cut might have opened on Cyborg on like some like weird clinch exchange, but for some reason he was talking like that. And the way I was thinking was, we have a 100% round one and Spencer's not getting her grappling going and she can't sub Cyborg. That'd be very tough in general. And Cyborg doesn't get tired. Like, and her price pre-fight was higher than minus 300. So I just could not believe the live line. I remember I just kept hitting it type of thing.
Yeah, I just feel like people have always assumed that Cyborg must get tired. Just because I just look at her and feel like, oh, clearly she's like muscle bound and whatnot, and she just doesn't.
She doesn't. She has incredible cardio.
Yeah, for what she is, like, for just how hard she hits.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she carries power deep. She's pretty well put together, and I don't think Nunes is quite as a great nutritional fighter as Cyborg. So yeah, I think Spencer's more likely to pick her. Spencer's more likely to pull out against Nunes than she is against Cyborg.
Yeah.
And I hope it does happen because it'd be fucking funny.
It would be funny. Obviously, gun to head, I think Nunes smashes her, but it would be funny if she just kind of survived and then like beat her later or something. But
who's even in the queue at women's bantamweight? I'm trying to think who's even like next to fight Nunes.
Aspen Ladd.
Yeah, actually, Nunes can survive one more defensive defense.
I'm not joking when I say this. Like, I'm not saying Aspen Ladd's going to win that fight, but I do think Aspen Ladd has a chance to win that fight. Because she is good at top position. Say what you want about her, and I feel like that's where it could happen. And I feel like to beat Nunes right now, anyone in the division, it's going to be kind of a top game type of thing, and someone who's like tough and come forward. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen. I'm just saying it would be funny after all this if Lad becomes champion because your history with Lad is fucking hilarious, and it would just be fucking awesome if that happened.
Yeah, like actually, I wouldn't even mind Lad beating Nunes because it probably means Lad gets the absolute shit beaten out of her for 5 minutes first.
You're an evil man. I don't. You fucking hate Aspen Lad.
She just has no problem. She just has. She's like Chase Hooper. She has deceptively no process. Like after a while, you kind of realize, wait, there is a process here. It's just dumb.
Yeah,
You can't just fling yourself
I
at
like
people.
Lad a lot more than you. But I do understand some of the anger considering like the Eubanks fight. She was clearly negative EV Lad, and things like that. But I just think in an ideal MMA world, like a more evolved world, her game's not good, but it's women's MMA and bantamweight. This is like the Stone Ages, And so having a top game really matters, I feel.
And also, like, the thing that should punish her to her style, it should just be her getting knocked out. And because it's women's bantamweight, like, that's kind of the balance there, which is like, if you just run face first to people, you're going to get knocked out, and that stops you doing it. And like, Jermaine the Randomy, I got unlucky against Eubanks, but I probably got lucky with Jermaine Randomy.
You probably did get lucky on Jermaine. The more,
honestly, in hindsight, after watching Nunes Randomy, I was like, oh fuck, Randomy would be fucked there. But honestly, like, Randomy probably gets a knockout at a reasonable clip though.
Yeah, she'll always be a bit of a KO threat early.
Like Randomy hits. I think Randomy hits harder than Nunes in certain ways. Yeah,
they both hit hard. But yeah, like Lad getting a double leg is very high percentage though too.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd rather rely on a grappling finish than the striking finish.
For sure, especially in women's MMA.
Like Aspen Ladd is going to beat Sarah McMahon after losing 7 minutes, so we all know that's going to happen.
For sure. It's going to be, she's going to fall in top position in like round 2 and then just finish McMahon, pretty much. She'll get mounted.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy because remember how Weidman versus Madsen was booked?
Yeah.
I think Aspen Ladd versus Sarah McMahon is the closest thing we could get to Weidman versus Madsen.
Yeah, it'll pretty much be something like that. Someone randomly getting a position and Weidman and McMahon will just eventually collapse.
Yeah, they'll just find some way to they'll just eventually wreck themselves, which is what it is.
Yeah.
So Amanda Nunes can win this. Like, I would prefer she did win this because then they got the Aspen Ladd shit fight.
Aspen Ladd and Nunes would be fucking hilarious.
I think it's Aspen Ladd and Nunes really that dissimilar to Felicia Spencer versus Nunes. Like, I rate Aspen Ladd's top game more highly than I do Aspen Ladd's. But, I rate Aspen Ladd's top game higher than I do Felicia Spencer. It's the same dynamic, isn't it?
Ladd's just like a little better in every area, probably.
It's still the same fundamental fight, in my opinion.
Yeah. I do think Ladd's just takedowns are better too. Yeah. And just kind of her top game probably as well. So I see what you're saying though. It's like kind of a little bit like same prototype.
I mean, it's really just can they survive the 3 minutes of hell before they get on top?
Yeah.
That's that's kind of how I see both of those fights going. Like Aspen Ladd probably a bit more able to, but also I think Aspen Ladd isn't quite as tough as Spencer is.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you go. I know it's late there, but cool. We'll do another. I mean, we have like multiple weeks in a row, so we'll be pumping these out every week around Monday, Tuesday.
Yep. Good to go. Thanks for listening.
Yep. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, have a good one.